Hold on, hold on. Up more.
Hello, welcome to the Dayton Unit NAACP monthly community meeting titled Educating Our Veterans with Information on Available Resources. Tonight we have our own chairman of our Armed Services Veterans Committee, Mr. Terrence Williams, and he will introduce his guests for this evening. Chairman Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start off by saying thank you all for attending this evening's town hall. And before I get started, I would like to recognize my veterans in the house and thank them for their services. So if you are a veteran and you're in the house, please stand and be recognized. For your services. I'm not going to hold up too much of your time since the president stole about 50 minutes of my presentation here. So the bill gets started. I have two ladies here that are very big advocates for veterans in the area. I will start with my good friend over here. I worked for her at Wright Pat. She was my base commander, awesome lady. I get to know her better now that she's retired and we became very good friends. This is Cassie. And I'll ask them to say a little bit about themselves, so I'm not going to speak for them. And on my right here is my new buddy. I met her, we got to know each other and we support each other. And not a very big advocate for our veterans. So before we get started, I have one of my committee members back there. And can you stand, sir, Mr. Kelly? He has some question and answering cards. If you have any questions, we'll take your questions at the end of the session. And just let him know and he'll write your questions down and then we'll let folks know what the question is. So without any further ado, I'm going to start with my right. And you have it, ma'am.
So I'm just gonna introduce myself or just.
Just introduce yourself and do what you want to do.
Okay, so I'm Kim Frisco. I'm thankful to be the director of our Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission. We're located on 627 Edwin C. Moses Boulevard on the 4th floor of the East Medical Plaza. And I'm retired Air Force and we are governed by a team of veterans and those with veteran status. So we love what we do. We're here to help. Am I going to tell them about what we do down there or am I passing it to Cassie?
To Cassie first, then you guys can get started.
So before we get started, Cassie is also my friend and she's a great community advocate. And we all work together in the Miami Valley serving our veterans. And we just have lots of fingers and branches and we're all trying to work together.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Cassie Barlow. I think I heard Terrence call me his old friend. I just wanted to let you know that he's not referring to my age.
So,
His age.
I did not say.
Thank you for being here tonight and thanks for having Kim and I here. Kim is absolutely right. We work together for all the reasons that Mayor Mims mentioned. So we want to be the place in the nation that veterans come and settle. That's the bottom line. We want to be that place. We want to attract veterans from around the world to come be with us, to live, work, play, and grow old. Right, Mayor Mims? That's what we want everyone to do. So I'm Cassie Barlow. I'm the president of the Strategic Ohio Council for Higher Ed, which is the consortium that focuses on bringing together higher education around the state for a plethora of different initiatives. But one of the most important is around veterans. And we run an organization called the My Veteran Community. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about that as we go. Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it right now. So the My Veteran Community, an organization that the Department of Veteran Affairs in DC reached out to about 50 different cities back in 2015. We were one of those cities that they reached out to and asked us to start this group, this Community Veteran Engagement Board. So I think that means something, that we were one of the first 50. And what it means is we already have a huge population of veterans. Who knew that we had the 6th highest population of veterans here in Ohio? Who knew that? That's pretty amazing, right? We want that number to continue to grow. And within Ohio, we have the 2nd highest population of veterans. So because of that, that's why the VA reached out to us and said, hey, can you guys get this community started? So we did. And basically what a My Veteran community does is it wraps itself around all the veterans in the community and focuses on improving services to veterans. That's the whole idea behind the My Veteran community. So that's our focus. And as Kim mentioned, we work together to make that happen because there's not one organization in our community that can do that alone. So when we started in 2015, there were 4 organizations sitting around the table. 2 of them are here at the Montgomery County VSO, SOCHI, the VA, and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We're sitting at the table.
You just let them know when the stroll there.
Sure, absolutely. You can go ahead to the next slide. Thank you. So as I mentioned, we wrap ourselves around veterans. There were 4 of us that started. We now have over 100 organizations around the community that are surrounding the veterans within our community, working to make lives better and working to increase the support and improve the support for veterans across the community. You can go ahead to the next slide. This isn't, I know these are really small, but that's over 100 organizations on that slide right now that are part of our My Veteran community that are all focused on our veterans. Next slide, please. When we first got together, we went out and we talked with veterans across the community, veterans of all ages, at all different locations. At our universities, at VFWs, at American Legions, at veteran service organizations, and we asked the questions, what do you need? What's missing? And the veterans told us what they needed. And that's how we came up with our charter, which is on the slide, basically focused on improving support to veterans and their families by connecting regional service providers and resources. That was the point. We're getting the resources out there and telling the veterans what those resources were. And our vision is to be the best. Why would we try to do anything less, right? We want to be the best. We want to be a leader in our nation. Next slide, please. We'll be a little bit more specific. We wanted to advertise all the resources that are out there. And we want to do that in multiple different ways. I'm going to walk you through those. And then we want to facilitate forums where we can hear from our veterans. So first and foremost, next slide, please. Hopefully, you all have heard of VetsLink. VetsLink is an extension of the United Way 211. I see some heads nodding. An extension of the United Way 211 24/7 365 call line. We were the first ones in the nation, folks, to have a VetsLink, to expand our services to all veterans in our community through the United Way 211 line. So a veteran can call anytime, 24/7 365. Talk to another veteran and be connected with resources here in our community, not in some, other state, not in Washington, D.C., but here in our community, which is extremely valuable for our veterans here in our community. So if you don't know about VetsLink, please check it out. You can go online and look at it on our United Way of Dayton website, or you can call 211 and get more information. Next slide, please. Another big initiative of ours is an annual event that's called Vets Moving Forward, and it's held on the last May of every year. This year, it's going to be the 24th of May from 3 to 7, and last Wednesday of May. And it's at the Student Union at Wright State University, and it's a huge gathering of veteran resources, and it's also a job fair for veterans. So great opportunity to come on out. It's free. We always have free food as well. It's a great event from 3 to 7. And we also have free transportation. So we get help through Green Cats and RTA. Next slide, please. Something else that we do is we provide support to our student veterans who are in all of our colleges and universities here in the region. because we want our student veterans to be successful. So we give them the services and the assistance they need to be able to be successful and earn their certifications and their degrees. Next slide, please. We also have a service to help veterans find jobs through the Aerospace Professional Development Center. Once again, out there on our website, our associate website, please check it out. We're connected with over 200 companies around the region, and we can help you get connected with these organizations and help you get hired within these organizations as well. Next slide, please. Another thing that we're working on is a military task force specifically focused on Alzheimer's and dementia. And the reason for that is because our veterans who have post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury have a higher likelihood of developing dementia and Alzheimer's. So we want to get to them, we want to educate them, and we want to make sure that we're identifying any disease process early and get them the help that they need. Next slide, please. Last but certainly not least is our veteran faith initiative, where we get out and we work with our chaplains across the community and our faith leaders to educate them on veterans' needs, because veterans have specific needs that are different from the rest of the congregation. And we want our faith leaders to know that. We want them to know how to best serve our veterans. So we work with the VA Chaplain Corps, and we get out to our faith community leaders and make sure that they've got the latest and greatest on what the veteran needs are. I think that's my last slide. Yes, just a reminder, Vets Moving coming up, Vets Moving Forward on May 24th, last Wednesday in May. And hopefully we get to see you guys out there. Thanks again for having me, Terrence.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you for the invite. We really appreciate it. So he is pulling up my presentation as well. There he goes. So as I said, I'm here in Montgomery County Veteran Service Office, and you have 88 counties here in the state of Ohio, and every county has a Veteran Service Office. I'll hold on.
Okay.
Thank you. So all of our 88 counties has a Veteran Service Office, and all 88 counties run their offices differently. They do things, some of them do things differently. But I like to say that we work very hard and diligent to take care of our veterans in Montgomery County. And that's kind of been a change over the years. So we have a great team. There's 13 of us. As I said, we are a bunch of veterans serving veterans. We have only 3 of our individuals that hold veteran status. The rest of us have all served, and we're happy to serve. That's what we want to do. So in the next slide, you can see that just this year, we talk about some of our successes. And even though that we've had COVID and the need is great, this year in 2022, we have processed more than 500 veteran service VA claims to help our veterans. So for those individuals that aren't veterans, if any of our veterans were hurt or injured while they served in the military, serving their country, they may have an opportunity to file a claim to the Department of Veteran Affairs so that they can be recognized for that illness or injury and be compensated for life as it may affect them for the rest of their life. So we filed more than 500 claims, and we have actually this year alone have recovered $3.8 million for those veterans that have filed claims to help them be successful. And why is that important? I'd love to throw out a question to Mayor Mims, but why is that important? Because those individuals in Montgomery County who have received that $3.8 million, they're going to spend their money in Montgomery County and they're going to take care of their community, and we're going to help them in their community. Right, Mayor? That's right. So also, with that, we help our veterans who are in need of emergency financial assistance, and we're fortunate that we have a great budget by our county. And this year alone, we have helped our veterans with more than $250,000 in financial assistance, and that is to help keep our veterans housed, fed, their utilities on, and a variety of things like that. We also help with minor repairs. The one thing I also want to share, we just recently had our annual coat drive. We understand what our veterans need, and one of the things is also to keep warm this winter. So we gave out last week over 300 brand new winter coats, hats, scarves, and gloves, as well as we had the opportunity to give out 200 food gift cards, 250 food gift cards to Aldi's for the holiday season. So that was first come, first serve. And so we were happy to serve. So in our next slide, we're going to talk everything that we do. So I shared with you a little bit that we file VA benefits. So we file benefits for our veterans. We file benefits for the widows of our veterans who may have passed. We work to file anything with regards to compensation and pension. And pension is for those individuals in our community that may be on the low income side but served during war. And we're able to get them a pension for life. So we work to do that as well as the veterans who have served and maybe in a nursing home now. We help file for aid and attendance, which many of you already know. The cost of living in a nursing home is unbelievably expensive. So if they've served and they are service connected, we can help get them additional money to pay for that nursing home. So along with that, as I shared, we provide emergency financial assistance, rent, food, utilities. We do minor repairs. We try to help with that. We work with legal assistance, medical transportation, and a preventive dental program. I'm going to follow my slides as I've done them instead of talking all the time. So my next slide, one thing I want to remind our folks, do we have any veterans in this room that served at Camp Lejeune? And did you serve during the period that they're announcing on the media? So the key is, if anybody served at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1988, the government they're finally recognizing the fact that our military members and their family members were exposed to toxic waters. And those toxic waters have absolutely caused many serious illnesses and diseases. And so I'll talk more at the end with regards to Camp Lejeune. But one of the things that was recently passed is the PACT Act. And that is what they call it, the Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxins Act. So we address those things such as toxic waters, burn pits, Agent Orange. Our military members have served in some areas where not only did they put their life at risk in fighting the enemy, they put their life at risk with the toxins that they were exposed to while they served. So with that, and our next slide, sir, and on the next slide after that, the key components of the PACT is the fact that there are enough toxins out there that the VA is finally recognized toxins and has made a list of presumptives, presumptive medical conditions. You are diagnosed with that evidence that they know you are exposed to by the military service. I will be waiting for you to do that. So that is next slide, please. How do we determine all of these toxins? Well, the key is if you serve and you have not signed up for the benefit registry, the Agent Orange registry, Camp Lejeune registry, you really need to do that. And why do I say that if you've been exposed to these things? Because on that list, if you've signed up on that list, if you have one of these illnesses or diseases, just take a look at that. Diseases are going across the spectrum, and so if you please sign up for those lists, and you can do that at your next slide, please. And I'm going to the next slide because I'm talking and have to turn the slides. And this slide, I know you guys really can't see it except for you folks on Facebook. You can see the whole list of presumptive illnesses that we are helping the veterans get the compensation because they are perceived to be service connected. What it has done as well is who are not receiving health care at the local VA. So the key is get on the list and get to your local VA for care. I'm going to go back to Camp Lejeune Waters, and we had a few folks that were in here with the next slide, please. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. So you see those commercials with those attorneys out there. I'm not knocking the attorneys because he's got me on Zoom. I'm not knocking the attorneys. But the key is, if you have suffered from Camp Lejeune Waters, please do your due diligence in researching what they're looking for. These are attorneys out of North Carolina that has to be held in a North Carolina court because Camp Lejeune is in North Carolina. And basically, are developing a class action suit with regards to that. And they're looking for as many people as possible to join in the class action suit. And for some people, it might be the right thing to do, but for others, it may not be. So that's why I wanted to tell you about them. So if you think, oh, we're finally getting our due justice and part of this class action suit, I have been suffering for years from the toxic waters. What's really happening is you can be a part of this class action suit, and the Camp Lejeune Water Act allows for attorneys to collect 30% of your bill, charge you an attorney's fee, and then what they don't tell you is that if you're collecting VA benefits, if at some point in time you're collecting Medicare or Medicaid in the future, you're going to be offset. Let me look in my numbers. Let's say you're part of the class action suit and you have a win of $100,000. It's a windfall for your suffering. Let's say what attorney does take up 10%. So they take $40,000. Still looking at $60,000. Then it's $15,000 comes with fees. You're left with $45,000. But that's the key. The topic. Is telling us the offset is if you collect VA benefits, Medicare and Medicaid benefits will be offset by your living. So that means you have to pay it back to your estate. $45,000. You have to pay $100,000 to receive. If you to research, there might be the right thing for those individuals to the VA that maybe at the end of life, they don't care if they're going to collect it back. Community person see you to collect it, or be the right thing for your family. Don't know. What thing you do is call our office and talk to one of our service officers so we can explain more. You make the decision for you. We're not going to guide you. Slide, please. So I also have in this slide, as you see on Camp Lejeune Water Continued, if you'll go back, sir. There you go. I also have on this slide the section under the act that says that the VA will collect an offset for Medicare and Medicaid. So it was actually written in the act. I'm not sure you see that. So you have Camp Lejeune. How you need to follow the claim is one, you should contact us. Next slide, sir. And if you were denied in the past, you should follow again. Next slide, sir. This form shows you which form you would need to use as for a supplemental claim because you do not recommend any of you to file your own claim. I have service officers in my office that go to training 4 times a year. They're certified and accredited. We know what we're doing. Come in and talk with one of them. We will get that for you. Next slide. I talked a little bit about emergency financial assistance. So one thing that we do provide, and I know I talk a lot, I apologize, but it's important. We provide food vouchers for our veterans. So during COVID, as we know, the world shut down and everybody shut down. Montgomery County shut down. We used to give $200 for food, but your pantries are bare now, your pantries are bare, and it took 3 weeks before the auditor's office could file that check to get that to you. I contacted Kroger's, and we have all 19 Kroger stores in Montgomery County that accept our vouchers. If you are in need, you can leave with vouchers the same day and take those, and they can be used at any local Kroger. So that's really important. I already told you about living wage assistance. We look at that. We look at your utilities, major home repairs. Next slide, please. Veterans Legal Counsel. We have the only attorney in the state of Ohio looking at a veteran service office. And why is that is because during COVID, we had hundreds and hundreds of calls from our veterans who said, I lost my job, I can't pay my rent, I'm going to be evicted, I can't do a variety of things. So from there, I was very fortunate that my commission passed that we could have a veteran attorney on our staff, and we can help with foreclosures, evictions, debt collection, and we do estate planning. And if needed, our attorney will go to the bedside of a veteran or your loved one to help them file. So the latest thing that we have worked on is our medical transportation. By law, we've always been required to transportation to our veterans. States that we have to do to VA. For 12 years. And maybe a lot of you know that a lot of your medical care is being outsourced to the community. So the key is I'm going to get you to your medical appointment no matter where it is. So our county used to give out bus passes, but we do a little bit more these days. So we will work to transport by Uber if needed. We will work with RTA to provide bus passes if needed. We work with anybody with a mobility device that needs it, that we will do urban transport door to door. So that's really important. We have increased our transportation so much in the last year. I had to create a transportation coordinator. And we are on track to possibly spend well over $80,000 next year in transporting our veterans to their medical appointments. So we give them the care that they need. And that's basically what I have. The newest opportunity that we have is we have a dental preventive program. If you are in need of preventive dental care, you can see us. It's for those individuals that need an income level, because if you are a veteran and you're not 100% service connected, you cannot get dental care at the VA. It's usually 1 in 5 can receive dental care at the VA. I'm sorry I talked so long. I'm very passionate about what we do. I appreciate all of our veterans here, and more importantly, thank you for having us and letting us share the word. And I appreciate you always reaching out to me, my friends, and thank you for supporting me. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give them a round of applause. I know we've covered a lot of information in a short time. And their slides were sent out to my team. But if anyone here need their slides of their presentation, please, we'll have a sign-in sheet. And you can give me your email address and I'll make sure you get a copy of that. I do have a couple of comments. I have utilized your services, your legal services, your VA claim services. So this agency is here to help us all. So if you're a veteran, please utilize it.
Or an eligible dependent.
Or eligible dependent. That's good.
Yes.
Yes. I do have, I'll start with the question and answer it. I have the first question here. I know, ma'am, and this is for you.
Yes.
And VA claims, disability claims. I know it takes a while for us to get feedback and get that process done. Has there been any improvement in that process?
So the key is with the passing of the PACT Act, the Veterans Benefit Administration, and that's the part of the VA that does the claims, not the healthcare or the cemetery, the benefits department. They have hired more than 2,500 individuals to help with processing those claims. Granted, They had to, they're still working on training and bringing them up to speed, but they have hired the team that they need. If it's a fully developed claim, we can see it being resolved and adjudicated in 60 to 90 days.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. I don't have a question. I'm pretty sure somebody in the audience do. So do we have some question and answers, sir? And please let us know your questions. We have some time, and we're not gonna let you leave here till 8 o'clock, so.
Oh, okay, I got a question. I've been to the VA, tried to get.
Can you
Oh,
stand?
I'm
Be
sorry, I'm
loud so
sorry.
people on Facebook can hear you loudly, sir. Thank you, sir.
Got it, okay. My question was, are there income restrictions to get help at the VA? Because I have been there several times trying to get some kind of help. But between my wife and myself, they say we make too much money. Now, why that is, I don't know. Why should there be a income restriction when you don't serve the country? Okay.
I like to try and answer that. I worked at the VA for 12 years. I no longer work at the VA. I get all my health care at the VA. I appreciate them. So there are 8 priority groups established at the VA for healthcare. And believe it or not, the VA and their motto even is that they are there to serve those who have borne the battle, as well as those that are indigent. So it's very frustrating because as you may be over income when you have to pay for those medical expenses, it doesn't feel like you're over income to receive the health care that you earned and deserve. So here's the key. If you haven't applied, apply again soon and make sure if you have any medical expenses that you list that when you go to the enrollment. But if you are not service connected and you have not come to my office to see if we can help get you any other benefits, please do so, because even if it's a hearing loss and we can get you service connected for hearing loss, I can get you healthcare for life. I can get you signed up for life. So there are more than one way to get into the Dayton VA to get your healthcare. So come see me.
You at the VA?
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm at Montgomery County.
Is that on
Edwin C.
Edwin C.
Moses.
Moses
It is.
on the 4th floor? or 5th?
Oh, yes, it is on the floor.
Okay, they got my DD 214 for me.
Great. We can do more things for you. Come talk to one of my service officers.
Okay.
We're happy to review everything.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Kim had worked at the VA, so she has insight on what goes on over there. Any other questions that we have? Eric? You have a question, sir?
As you have questions, please speak into the mic because there's people over there saying they can't hear.
I'm a night person. And I can't tell you how many times I see the Camp Lejeune commercial. Mayor's worse than politicians. Every 2 minutes. So you share with me something I've been concerned about. We several members of Congress who passed this law ought to be informing the veterans of what the law is. Organization, and 2, who's paying for those commercials, if you know? Find out. If you know. In terms of social. My colleagues, yeah.
Thank you for that question.
So, the biggest thing you can do is inform and see if it's the right thing for you. Attorneys and some organizations are looking for these advertisements. They have to build a class action suit. And the key is, it might be the right thing for you to do. And as I said, it takes 5% of the bill. The key is, and there are also, as I also said, offset. is 25% check. It's just.
So you get a chance to answer.
I'll tell you a little bit about Sochi.
Yes.
Terrence said we can't leave until 8 anyway, so. Sochi's a nonprofit. We're getting ready to celebrate our 55th anniversary here in Dayton, Ohio. We started, of course, in Dayton, and we're a consortium of universities across the state. And same thing as I mentioned before, we started with just a small group of universities and colleges sitting around the table. There were 4 colleges and universities that started Sochi back in 1967. And now we're up to 23. And we're gaining more across the state. And the reason why we come together is to share best practice and to help each other. Because there's no reason why we should have to recreate the wheel however many times across Ohio. We should be learning from each other. So that's what we do. Another really big piece of our work that we do every day is experiential learning for students in our region. So on any one day across our region, we have 100 to 200 students who are working high school all the way up to postdoctorate level in our businesses across the area. And these students are gaining work-based and experiential learning opportunities so that they can figure out, like Mayor Mims said a few minutes ago, we want our students to stay here in our region. We want them to have good jobs. And so we need to show them what that looks like by employing them in our businesses through internships. So that's what we work on every single day, is getting students into internships, real meaningful internships. We have students, high school students in Dayton right now, who are working at Dayton Children's and who are working at CareSource, doing meaningful work for those organizations. And to me, that's exciting. Hopefully it's exciting to you too, because that's our future, folks. Those students are our future, and we need to do what we can to keep them here in our region. And the way that we do that is by getting them to work, getting them those work-based learning opportunities. So that's what Sochi is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Get you to step up here for a minute.
Yes, I was diagnosed with kidney cancer
Yes.
from Cameroon. I was diagnosed in 2019.
Close to your lips.
Okay. I was receiving 100% benefits since 2019. And in the 1st of August, I received a letter telling me I was no longer eligible for veterans benefits.
100%.
Yeah, I was 100%. And I got a letter telling me that I was okay, pretty much. I'm okay now. It was 2 weeks before I was to be eligible to receive the benefits for the rest of my life. I now receive $300 a month. And I can no longer, honestly, I can't afford to pay my bills. Everything that I had was taken away from me. I was told or referred to by my veterans compensation person in the VA that at this time I needed to get a lawyer because, you know, I had nothing. I won't say I had nothing, but I'm in the process of losing. When I got the lawyer, he came back and told me, I can't talk to you because you have a lawyer now. What am I to do? What am I to do? I've been receiving $3,500 a month to free. Who do we talk to? Who do we go to now? And he can't talk to me anymore because I have a lawyer.
The VBA representative. Is that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So We can talk. So we can talk offline, and the key is once we get a lawyer involved, your VBA representative or any VSO can no longer see your files because it's an attorney. Attorney has them, so we can't see anything. But let's talk offline, and hopefully your attorney is filing for what you need. Because my recommendation would have been to appeal that decision. Sorry. That, so what he's saying is, you know, you're gonna be 100% for 10 years. And we snatched it up in 2 weeks, hitting 10 years to keep that going. So let's talk offline. Thank you for your service. I'm sorry that happened.
Thank you for your question, sir.
And,
Mr. President,
yes,
speak in the mic, please.
You don't have to tell them.
yeah, so I was listening to you saying that when you get an attorney involved, that the clock stopped. Well, I can tell you that's kind of normal in most business practices. So even like with the NAACP, if somebody comes down and they file a complaint at our office, once they get an attorney involved, we back and allow the attorney to go to market however they're going to pursue the case. So then what we do is we just stand alongside with the attorneys as an organization and see how they want us to move forward, but not for us to impede upon how the attorney is going to challenge the case. So I can just let you know, just from even with NAACP, when somebody gets an attorney, we pull back as well and follow their lead.
Yeah, the situation is, I would have never got an attorney if you did your job. You could have told me months ago that I was going to lose it, not 2 weeks. That also didn't give me the opportunity to get myself in order. It's not that I can't afford my house, or I'm not saying I can't afford it, but you could have at least warned me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, not you.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
I told you something.
And that's what I said, we're gonna talk to you offline. But I will just let you know, that's not uncommon practice when somebody gets an attorney. That's really all I was saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that clarification and input. Any other questions? Hearing none, and you want to say something?
I don't have a question, I have a comment to piggyback off of what President Ford said.
Okay.
He's coming.
Now, this attorney thing, what happens is this. I've been in the insurance business for 48 years. The first thing a person would want to do, they have an accident. First thing they do, they get on the phone, they say, they call their attorney. Then they call me, and I cannot help them, because once you get an attorney involved, then it's out of our hands. Your attorney have to talk to our attorney to represent you. So for you all that don't know that, when it comes to insurance, it's the same thing. So it's common practice, as Mr. President said. You know, so that's the reason you said talk offline with her, because that's not uncommon. That's normal. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that's, anything when it comes to that. First thing you do, you get an attorney. My attorney gonna take care of it. Then you call me, hey, I can help you. You have to call your attorney. Your attorney has to represent you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for that comment, sir. Have another comment or question over here?
Question. I was trying to get a housing share. I saw when she gave her report, she was saying that there were so many vacant homes in the area, and so many families who needed housing. So maybe you can talk to us about intentions to find housing for veterans in the area.
So we in Montgomery County do not find housing or help with rental support, mortgage support. And the key is, we were very closely with David. And we were to assess their needs and resources and get housed. So, very, going through those, and David comes out. So, there is, there's an account, and I like to say, we call it closed in. And it's just one of those things. Professionals on the homelessness. We have, to be housed. City of Dayton. City of Dayton has passed, especially during COVID, that landlords cannot charge ridiculous fees, late fees for your rent. I can't tell you how many financial applications that have come across my desk, and the landlord was charging a deal. And it clearly states in the resolution. The city of Dayton, the person that's in charge. I see. Are so and not taking care of the property and late payment fees that. I didn't answer your question, but sorry for that.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your opinion. And you must have read my mind, Mr. Mayor, as I was calling you down. I have you in the house.
I'm gonna do the moonwalk up here, so I can answer that.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just walk straight in. Check with our HRC department, and that they should be of some support with that. I don't know if you have in the past or not. You have? Okay, so we'll have to work on that situation, if that's not supposed to be the case.
Yes, it shouldn't be, but I was told the city can't do anything, that they'll have to hire an independent attorney and sue that landlord because you guys don't enforce that. And I have documents and documents.
Well, we'd like to talk. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do.
All right, Mr. Mayor, before you leave, I don't want to put you in the spot, but
You are.
since you're here. And you have to marry, you have to do what you gotta do. Hey, do you have any initiatives, current initiatives that address some of our veterans' concerns and needs that I know you're a veteran and you served well.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing for our veterans?
Well, we are.
Not to put you on the spot or anything like that, but you know.
You did. Well, seriously, in terms of supporting those programs, again with the VA, a lot of things that we're doing are probably not known right now to the extent. I've been doing some work with Brandon McLean as he sets some things for vets to help them in that particular vein as well. I was recognized by helping them, if you will, to help identify some more work programs. You know, I've been working to try to get programs for housing with some of the houses that are not as bad as some of the ones that were tearing down, to get vets, teachers, policemen, and firemen in a position where they can take over some of those houses and be able to rehab those houses and again stay here in the city of Dayton. So that's an initiative that we're still working on, if you will, to this point in time. So there's a lot. I know when I listened to you about applying for benefits, you know, I did not apply for benefits when I came back to Vietnam. I've always been relatively healthy until I had a stroke in 2014, was the first time I got to the VA. And they told me that I should come more often because the more of you who are enrolled, the more of us who enroll, it helps everybody.
Yes.
I was thinking that because I was always healthy, I would be taken away from someone else, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I still have not signed up for benefits myself, other than just getting my 10% because I was in Vietnam. I know I should be getting more. But
And she asked me to actually.
Got information down, so
Sign up for healthcare.
I'm gonna sign up for that.
Yes, you are. Sign up for healthcare. I'll take it. Yeah.
But we'll exchange numbers before you leave, so we can do what we can. Well, okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
I'll help you any way I can.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that with us.
Another question?
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Mhm.
Okay, we can take one more question and then we have to wrap this up.
Make it a good one.
The 8 o'clock.
By the time you finish speaking.
They administers the land bank program. Okay, city used to, but it was turned over to the county. Has there been any consideration of partnering with that program and the VA, partnering with that program to help some of the homeless veterans as far as housing is concerned?
Thank you for that question, sir.
That question is way down the wheelhouse. On a different board. It's not the Board of County Commissioners. So I don't know, you can be a great question and hopefully Terrence will send me that question that I sent to the Dayton VA. Send it to the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, I know we covered a lot of information this evening. And it's a lot of information to process. Like I said, we will send you the slides. And you will have information on how to contact the agencies that you need if you have questions. And before I continue, I would like to personally thank you ladies again for being here and supporting us. You know, I love both of you ladies.
Thank you, thank you.
And before I turn it over to our president, I would like to introduce our Veterans Affairs Committee, starting with Dr. President Forward. He's on our committee. Our secretary, put your hands up there. Everybody know who you are. Everybody know that, boy. We have our secretary, Ms. Claire Thomason back there. She's a part of our committee. We have Mr. C.K. Williams, he's a part of our committee, and Mr. Eric C.K. back there. Raise your hand, sir. And our mission is to educate our veterans. Every year we do this town hall to provide information on resources, available resources to our veterans. Hopefully this helps, so you can share it with your family and friends, the veterans that you know. Please share it with it. The more we utilize these programs, the more and the city and these agencies can support our programs. If we do not use it, we're gonna lose it. And with that, I'm gonna pass it on to President Forward for his closing remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's give Chairman Williams a round of applause for putting together. And, you know, I'm very fond of anybody who's a veteran, of anybody who serves in law enforcement. Because those two positions, those two areas of industry is, you have to have a special kind of courage. Sign up for the unknown. Especially when you go in the military. You don't know you're gonna get shipped off, you don't know. You don't know for how long. In the Navy. Was in the 12 was in the Army, one in the military. One in the Marines. So serves as a police officer. So, and that's why I have a great deal of respect for law enforcement. Because they have a hard job. They hear from me. As long as you do the job. You know, who serve our country, who serve our nation. You know, we hold a great deal of gratitude and debt to them because they don't, I mean, you just never know what's gonna happen. And that's why I was kind of group, the armed services and law enforcement together because every day that's going on in, you know, to protect the street, all those gonna happen. So, you know, I applaud all of you veterans that are in here to see all you veterans that's watching online. You know, salute each one of you. And you're say that we appreciate you, we love you. And know that you can count on the NACP to do what we can do in terms of supporting whatever the issues that you may have. But like I said earlier, once an attorney gets involved, then we gotta pull back. You know, we'll be sending in lockstep with your attorney. And address with any kind of issues that you may have. So just know that from the NACP. So next month is our annual meeting. And our annual meeting, so today you've been enlightened on armed services and veteran affairs. Next month, you have an opportunity right here at this church, downstairs inside of the ballroom. Right here at Grace United Methodist Church, you have an opportunity to listen at the reports of all of our standing committee chairs. So you can see and hear exactly what each committee. And let's just kind of go around. So here we have a chairperson here, Cindy McGee. Cindy, raise your hand for a moment. Cindy, over on the AXO committee. So you can hear something from AXO, your high school students actually competing over 3 different areas of competition: family, science, mathematics, entrepreneurship, biology, chemistry, so on and so forth. So you have an opportunity to hear from you, which is Treasurer Brown. You, you know, anything from a criminal justice, anything inside the court system, and anything going with the law enforcement officers. Everything else basically falls into the wheelhouse of Chris Court. So he deals with education, job discrimination, the VA system, you know, everything. So, you know, he has a lot of different complaints that he deals with on a day-to-day basis. You know, because if you're not engaged in politics, you're really missing the point because decisions for what happens every single day of your life. So you need to make certain that you are engaged, that you are in tune at every level of government. You know, is extremely important. Sometimes people get caught up or just want to in the presidential election. Stay involved in every election. Certain elections, elections, use the voting. And I want to say something to all of you and to you all viewing. If you have a child, you have a grandchild. Anybody who you consider as a little one to turn 18 years old. That person to the polls, I mean, to the elections. And also, if those studies start to get home. That state house. And we need. You know, to come in and join us, to be able to and what we do as an organization. And you can educate yourself. Our And what the NAC is doing. You know, about me and. Hopefully empower decisions on your duty during the fight. So educate, empower. So our core goals here locally in the NAC is educate, empower. Is to fulfill the dream of civil rights after 1964. NAACP was started. And that's our, that's our business taking here local. And we're fighting tooth and nail to ensure that people get advancement in all facets of their life. So for the next time, we're going to do, they will look for the NAACP.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the invite.